Let's return to Newsmax, Washington, where Congressman Walter Jones has been waiting patiently. Walter, specifically, what do you believe is contained in those classified pages?
Well, J.D., let me say first that Senator Bob Graham from Florida participated in the news conference 2 days ago, and he has been the one that's been driving this issue. And I read a book that he wrote when after he left the Senate. And let me make a point very quickly to get to your question. Senator Graham was a co-chair along with Senator Richard Shelby that wrote the 9/11 report, and they both have said the 28 pages should be declassified. It was the Bush administration that decided that 28 pages out of the report before the report could be made public needed to be classified. I, along with Steve Lynch, Thomas Massey, and several other members of the House, we've read the 28 pages. And I would say there's nothing, absolutely nothing about national security in those 28 pages. It is about relationships. And as Bob Graham said the other day himself, and this has been printed, that he knows that the Saudis helped finance the 9/11 attack. And all we're saying is that the American people, and especially the 9/11 families who are still in pain, should have a right to see the information and make their own judgment based on the information.
Now, Congressman Jones, have the Saudis had any reaction to this?
Well, this was our third news conference, and every time we brought members of the family in to participate because they're the ones that still feel the pain. President Obama twice has told the 9/11 families in 2 separate occasions that he will declassify this information. This is a bipartisan effort. My Democrat colleague, Stephen Lynch from Massachusetts, is with me on this effort. And there is no reason that you cannot have a strong country and a democracy when you will not give the truth, especially about the tragedy of 9/11, to the American people.
Walter, you referenced the presence of former Senator Bob Graham at your press conference 2 days ago. You also mentioned that former Senator Graham was quite clear about the Saudis financially backing those who carried out the 9/11 attacks. I want to make sure I understand that, first of all. And then secondly, Walter, in your mind, what should be our relationship with Saudi Arabia? 2 minutes remain in this segment, sir, so I want to give you time to answer
Well, let
this.
me say this. It's just like the new war in Iraq. I think the Middle East countries ought to send their troops on the ground so their troops can fight for what they believe is right. America is sending their troops to get killed and have their legs blown off. Let these Middle East countries send their military into those countries. We might have a better world. I don't know. But for me personally, that I believe sincerely, I've talked to these families many, many times, and their pain because of what happened on 9/11, that America will never be strong if we deny the American people the truth.
Walter, a minute remains. Suffice it to say, our relationship with Saudi Arabia has been somewhat complicated, but we look to them in so many cases for help in the region. Should we end our diplomatic relationships with the Saudi kingdom?
No, I'm not advocating that. I'm just saying that we need to have a foreign policy, in my opinion, in the Middle East where we participate as partners. This is one American soldier on the ground in Iraq. There should be one Saudi soldier on the ground in Iraq. This America trying to police the world, J.D., is not the way we need to go in foreign policy.
Congressman Walter Jones, Republican of North Carolina, representing the folks in the 3rd Congressional District in the Tar Heel State. Sir, we very much appreciate your time, and we will continue to follow the story, specifically your request to have those 28 pages of heretofore classified sections of the 9/11 report be declassified. Walter, again, you have our thanks. Now, there is a lot going on, and that is why we are going to go to a Newsmax Now update. John Bachman in our newsroom with the latest.